Back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can change the RGB color of live camera video recording in React Native's new architecture for Android using CameraX and Media 3 effect. So let's get started. So first I'll show you guys the output. Now I'm using Android Studio to mirror my device. You don't need to use Android Studio. We will be doing all the code via VS Code, so don't worry about it. Let me just show you guys the output quickly. So first I'll give the camera permission, then it asks me for record audio permission. I'll give that as well, and here you can see so this is how the RGB color looks like. Now you can play around with lot of values. I'll just click on the start button as well, so hopefully you can see it. So it has started recording as well, and okay, sorry, I lost the connection, sorry about this. I'll just bring back the connection. Okay, so it is still recording. Hopefully you guys can see it. Now I can just click on the stop recording button. Like I said, you can play around with the values. Later on I will tell you where exactly you need to play with the values. Now I can just go to my files app where it has recorded the output, and I can just go to videos, and here you can see the video has been saved to external storage as well, so the user can use it whenever he or she feels like. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Now let's see how to achieve this via code. Okay, so let's get started. So first, here you need to go to this particular documentation of Fabric Native component. At the time of me recording this video, the React Native version is 0.80, but I think by the time I publish this video, React Native 81 might come out, so you don't need to fear about anything. There won't be any breaking changes as such. So even if there is, just follow this documentation and you will be good to go. I don't think there will be any breaking changes, so don't worry too much about it. So first you just need to open this particular documentation over here. Also what I'll do is I'll just open my terminal, and here you just need to go to your workspace directory. I'll just clear everything out. I'll just go to my workspace directory, which is over here inside this particular folder called my cam. Okay, you can go to your own workspace directory. It's up to you wherever you want to create the project. So first you need to create the project. For that you can just run this command. Now like I said, this tutorial is only for Android, so even if this is install pods false, which is fine because CocoaPods is only for iOS, it is not for Android. And instead of demo you can write your own project name. Now I have already ran this command and created a project, and my project name is test app, as you can see over here, but you don't have to name it test app. You can name it whatever you feel like. Okay, so just run this command. Again, if you want to change the project name, you can change it over here. Okay, then don't run this particular command. We will create it manually. So what it basically says is, okay, just let me check. Okay, so what it says is it just tells us to create a specs folder, and inside this particular these all things are present by default, and inside this create a web view folder. So in our case, web view does not make sense. We will be creating a separate folder name. So first what you can do, once your project is created, I'll just minimize everything. Okay, so don't worry too much about it. I'll just close everything as well. So first you just need to create a folder called specs inside the root of your React Native project. Just do that. Okay, then go to Android app src main java com, and inside com just create a folder called my camera. We won't be naming it as web view because web view does not make it sense. Now instead of my camera you can name it whatever you feel like, but this name is very important. If you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing, because this my camera name will be used in lot other places as well, so it's better you follow what I'm doing. Okay, so I have named it as my camera. Ignore the files which were present inside. We'll come back to that later on as well. Okay, then if you scroll down here, you can see inside the specs folder we need to create this particular TypeScript file, but here instead of web view we will be writing it as my camera. And this is also very important. You need to name the file name should contain this particular thing, native component. Otherwise later on we will be running the code generation command and it will not be able to find your file. So in our case the file name will be my camera native component.ts. so if you see over here inside the specs folder, you just need to create this particular TypeScript file, my camera native component.ts. Now I have just copied everything from this particular file, but I have made few changes. Firstly, I have replaced this particular type with this particular thing. So here we have this particular thing called result, but unfortunately the result thing is not really. So what typically will happen in our output is, like I showed you guys the output, right? We were recording the video. once the video has been recorded, we used to go to the files app. Previously what I used to do was I was sending the actual video URL of the captured video back to React Native side, but for some reason I'm not able to play the video. I don't know why. This works perfectly fine with in native Android with Exoplayer. Now if you don't know what Exoplayer, it is basically a video player in native Android, but in React Native side I tried using this particular library, React Native video player. As you can see, I have installed this particular dependency. If you want, you can use it. We are not really going to use it in this tutorial like I showed you guys in the output. I played the video by going to the files app. I was sending the file URL, I was sending it from native Android side to React Native side, but it's still not able to play the video. I tried multiple things. I tried asking ChatGPT about this as well. I just couldn't really figure it out. So if you know how to do it, do let me know in the comments as well. Okay, so that's what I'm sending it over here. Okay, and here you can see I don't require this particular prop, so I have completely removed this. And here, instead of this particular thing on script loaded, I have taken it as on video taken. Okay, and here also I have passed in our own type, which is this particular thing, my camera image taken event. Okay, and here instead of custom web view, okay, we have to name it as custom my camera over here. Rest everything remains the same. Okay, hopefully you got the point. Okay, also I will just cd to my test app as well inside my terminal. Okay, now let's scroll down, and here we need to copy this particular line of code and just paste it inside our package.json. So I have already done it, but again we need to make few changes. So if I just show it to you, here you can see I have copy pasted it inside my package.json file. So first, here instead of web view, it will be my camera. Over here as well, even though we are not using the iOS thing, but I have still added it. So here instead of custom web view, it should be custom my camera, and here instead of RCT web view, it should be RCT my camera. Now given that we have changed the package.json file, we just need to install the dependency using npm install. So yeah, this step is not given in the documentation, but I think it's better to do it, otherwise we will face unnecessary issue. Now we need to run the code generation command. So we are only doing it for Android, so you can just copy this command, paste it over here. Okay, and then run this particular command. So I have already ran this command, so it will be pretty quick for me, but if you're doing this for the very first time, it might take a bit of time, like 2 to 3 minutes depending on your machine. So just be patient. So here I think, so here you can see you should see build successful at the very end. Once this is done, let's ignore this React web view for now. Okay, we'll have a look at other files, because React web view will be completely different. We can't copy this from the documentation. So we'll first look at some other files, and then we'll come back to React web view. So first it is telling us that we need to create React web view manager.kt, but in our case it will be React my camera manager.kt, right? So you just need to go to React my camera manager.kt. Okay, and here you need to add all this import. So firstly, this is our package name, which will be different because the folder name was my camera in our case. Okay, rest everything I have copied it from documentation, but everywhere wherever you see web view, instead of that just replace it with my camera. So that's what I have done over here. So these are all the imports. Here instead of web view, I have written it as my camera over here, my camera over here as well. Same everywhere, I have my camera. Okay, my camera over here, my camera over here, here my camera. So hopefully you got the point. Also I have made few changes. So I have removed the code. So firstly, we are not passing any prop, right? So I have completely removed this line of code. We don't really require it. So as you can see, I have just removed it. We don't have it over here. Here also custom my camera should be there. Here also React my camera. Okay, and inside this particular method, so our method name was on video taken, right? Inside our TypeScript file, if you see over here on video taken, so that's what I have written over here, on video taken, and here it should be on video taken capture. And if you see here they have written on script loaded capture. That's why I have written on video taken capture. So this bubbling event is basically used for sending data from React native Android side to React Native side. Like I said, I'm sending the URL of the captured video, but I'm not able to play it on React Native side. I don't know why. So yeah, next you need to create this particular file, React web view package.kt. So let's come over here, and here you can see I have created it as React my camera package.kt. Again, this I have copied it from the documentation. Firstly, this should be your package name, and wherever you see web view in the documentation, replace it with my camera. So that's what I have done over here. So yes, feel free to pause the video and just copy all this code. Again, this code is in the documentation as well. Just replace web view with my camera. That's what I have done. And the last thing which we need to do is we need to add this inside main application as well. So just go to your main application. Sorry, it would be over here, whatever is your project name. Go to main application. Firstly, you have to add your import. Again, this is your package name, React My Camera package, and you have to add it like this, add React My Camera package. Okay, so once you have done all this, let's just scroll down and let's see how to use it first. Again, we have not written the actual implementation. We'll look at it later on at the very end. Let's go to app.tsx, and here you can see firstly these are all the imports which I have added. Okay, then here I have taken a straightforward video URL, but like I said, I'm not able to play the video. Here this is for camera permission. Now for recording video we require two things, camera permission as well as record audio permission. So for both of that I have taken this one state itself. If you want to name it you can name that as well differently, like is camera and audio permission granted, but here I have just written is camera permission granted, but I'm checking for both camera as well as record audio permission. Now here I am checking whether the user is using Android 10 or above, because from Android 10 and above we don't require the write external storage permission. That is given automatically. That's why I've added this particular check. So here I have defined a method. First I'm checking whether the user is using Android. If yes, and if it is Android 10 or higher, then only I'm requesting camera as well as record audio permission. But for below Android 10 I'm requesting camera, record audio as well as write external storage permission. Then here I'm just checking whether all permissions are granted or not, and if it is Android 10 or higher and if all these permissions are granted, then just change this particular state as true. For below Android 10, if all these permissions are granted, then just change this state to true. Okay, then inside use effect we are just calling this particular method. Then is camera permission granted, then we just display our camera, else we just display a text saying camera permission not granted. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And once we get the URL from native Android side, we are just updating the state over here. So this will actually contain the video URL. Here I had some code, if you want to see it, to play the video as well, but it is not playing for me. So instead of using this particular thing, you can try to use this particular thing as well. Now some of you who might have little bit knowledge of native Android might be thinking that why did you not use XO player? You could have created just like we are doing it for camera, we could have created XO player natively as well. Yes, we could do that, but I don't want to make this tutorial too complex. Already it is a bit complex for React Native devs. That's why I didn't want to complicate too much. But here you can see I've commented it out. If you don't want to use XO player, if you just want to use the React Native video player, this is how you can use it. But like I said, the video player is not playing the video, but like I showed you guys in the output, we are able to play the video. If you just go to your files app, try to play it from outside your app. Okay, and these are the styles for it as well. So hopefully you got the point. Now there are few dependencies. Before we see the actual implementation, you need to add few dependencies as well. These are official Google dependencies, so you don't have to worry about getting deprecated or something like that. So you just need to go to build.gradle, and here first you need to add this camera core dependency, then this camera 2, then this camera lifecycle, then this camera view, camera video, then this media 3 effect. So this is in alpha at the time of me recording this video. If it does become stable by the time you guys watch it, make sure you use the stable version. Because this is still in alpha, it does cause performance issues on cheap Android devices, and I'm using a cheap Android device. So make sure this becomes stable. If you are using something like Pixel or OnePlus, you won't feel any performance issues as such. Okay, and here is our media 3 effect dependency. Also, while running the app, make sure you run it in release mode, because if you try to run it in debug mode itself, where you have the the fast refresh and everything, you might face performance issues again. So make sure you add all these dependencies as well. Then you need to go to Android manifest.xml, and here firstly you need to check you have the internet permission. Then you use this uses feature of Android hardware camera, the camera permission, record audio permission, as well as write external storage permission. Okay, so till here everything is clear. Now comes to the final implementation part. So first you need to create a file called reactmycamera.kt over here. All the imports, I'll simply scroll through this file, feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports. There is nothing really here to explain on the import side of things, so I'll simply scroll through this file. React class which extends frame layout, and here we have our lifecycle observer as well. Then here we get hold of our current theme React context. Here is our camera, here is our preview view, and here is our video capture recorder as well. Here is our recording as well. Then here we have our capture button. Here we initialize our preview view. I have named it as viewfinder. So basically this is the camera preview view used for recording the video. Then here is our camera executor service. Here is our process camera provider. Here we get the back facing lens. Here we get hold of our current activity. Then here we set layout params to our viewfinder, and here we call this particular method. I'll come back to this why we are doing it. Okay, then we add the viewfinder to our parent view. Then we set the text background color, text color, as well as alpha to our button. Then we set the layout params for our button as well, and then we add the capture button to our parent view. Then we add a click listener for our button where we call just capture video method. Then inside this on attached to window, we check whether we have the camera permission. If yes, then we just call setup camera. On detach from window, we just shut down our camera executor as well as unbind our camera provider. Now coming back to this method, why we are calling this method. So to learn more about it, you can go to this particular issue. So basically this issue has been open in React Native's repo since past 8 years. They have still not fixed it. The issue is that if you try to use your camera and if you don't write this particular bit of hacky code, you won't see your live camera preview. You will just see a black screen. So to resolve that, we need to write this particular bit of hack. There is no workaround. You just have to use this until React Native folks fix this issue. Then here we have setup camera where we get hold of our camera provider feature. We add a listener to it as well, and here we use bind camera use case. And inside capture video, we get hold of our video capture. Then here we do capture button dot is enabled as false. Here we get hold of our recording, and if it is not equal to null, we stop our recording, we make it as null. Here we get hold of our simple date format. Then here we do content values dot apply, passing in the display name, mime type, and if android version greater than p, we also set the relative path. Then here we initialize the media store output options as well. Then here we initialize our recording, and here we just check whether we have the audio permission as well or not. And then we start the recording, and once the video recording has been started, we just change the text of our button as well as is unable to true. And once it is finalized, and if record event has error is false, then we just send the URI of the captured video back to React Native side. So this is how we send it. Now even sending this back to React Native side is an involved process, so it is not simple. I'll come back to this where I have written this particular method as well. Then we stop our recording and close it, make it as null. Then we just change the text of our button as well as is unable to true. Then this is just a helper method just to check whether we have the proper camera permission or not. And here we have just defined two variables, tag and file name format. Now to send data back to React Native side, you need to use these two particular methods. Now this I have copied it from documentation, but I have changed it to our use case. So if you want to see it, you can just scroll up and you can see it over here. Here you can see these are the two things, but in their case they are using this on script loaded everywhere, but in our case it is on video taken, right? So firstly I have copied this, but here I have taken on video taken event. So here I have created this particular class, so everywhere you have to write on video taken over here as well. So yeah, that's it. Camera use case method. So first here we get the viewfinder width, then the viewfinder height, then the rotation, then the camera provider, then here is our camera selector, then we get hold of the aspect ratio strategy, then here is our resolution selector, then we initialize the preview view, then we initialize the recorder as well, then here we have the video capture, then inside use case group dot builder we initialize the preview use case as well as video capture use case, then here we initialize the media 3 effect as well, then here we pass media 3 effect dot set effects, and here we do RGB adjustment. So here you can play around with the red scale, green scale as well as blue scale, so you can enter whatever value you feels like. Then here we add the media 3 effect to our use case group builder, we unbind our camera provider, we bind it to the life cycle over here, then we assign our new camera to this particular camera object, then here we set the surface provider as well. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.